let's build another subclass. So with this one, I want to delve into the aspect of the Silver Sea, which is the marine area of Dromnost. It covers most of the planet itself, and it's rich with both marine biology and also psionic forces. So with this one, I want to build a ranger conclave. So I want it to be all about how rangers are they're like wardens of natural areas, and they're combatants alongside forces of nature, like I talked about with the Witch Knight, with the Blood Pact bundle. So with this one, they are wardens of the Silver Sea. So it makes sense that their psionic defenses would be improved, as well as having reality-altering powers. So with this one, let's start off with some basics for ranger conclaves. Typically at 3rd level, when you gain access to your first subclass features, you gain 2 features in addition to an additional spell list that counts as ranger spells for you, but don't count against the number of ranger spells you know. For the first one, I really want to delve deeper into the sub-archetype concept, where you have 3 sub-archetypes within a subclass. So it's like a subclass within a subclass. So let's start with that. Let's start with the Psychic Juggernaut. That could be one for your sub-archetype. With this one, it's all about how your psychic defenses actually improve your physical defenses. So you gain resistance to psychic damage, and then you also gain access to the shield spell, which counts as a ranger spell for you, but doesn't count against the number of ranger spells you know. For the second one, I want it to be more mystical, more magical. So let's call it the Cerebral Hexer. It's very cognitive. With this one, you gain access to 2 warlock cantrips of your choice, and they count as ranger spells for you. For the final one, I want it to be world altering. For the 3rd sub-archetype, let's call it the Abstraction Expert. It's all about altering reality. For this one, you can change the damage type of a spell or weapon that you use, an amount of times per short or long rest equal to your wisdom modifier. You can change it to cold, fire, lightning, thunder, radiant, necrotic, force, or psychic damage. Any of those you can choose from. For the 2nd subclass feature at 3rd level, I wanted to enhance your intellect. So with this one, let's call it Force of Mind. Whenever you make an intelligence check, you gain a bonus to that check equal to your wisdom modifier. I also want to throw in a cantrip here, just so that you have more passive magical abilities. So with this one, I would have liked to use Mind Sliver, which is a great psionic enchantment spell. That's not in the SRD, so we have to make our own. We're going to call it Daphne's Curse. This is kind of like Mind Sliver, but it only deals with mental stats, so it only reduces the next saving throw by intelligence, wisdom, or charisma, instead of like any saving throw. And it's called Daphne's Curse because there's a witch on an island in the Silver Sea. Her name is Daphne, and she deals with psionic forces. So that's just some lore for you. So you gain access to Daphne's Curse with that. We're going to move on to the additional spell list. For this one, at 3rd level, you gain access to Cognitive Dissonance, which is kind of like Dissonant Whispers, but you move a random direction. You roll a d4 to figure out what direction you move if you fail your save. And then, of course, you also gain Daphne's Curse at this level. At 5th level, you gain access to Detect Thoughts, which is just like a really fitting spell for this. At 9th level, you gain a 3rd level spell. Let's call it Psychic Ward. I would have liked to use Intellect Fortress, but that's not in the SRD. So with this one, Psychic Ward is similar. It grants you advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saves for the duration, and whenever you take psychic damage, you can use your reaction to gain a bonus of temporary hit points equal to the damage that you take. At 13th level, you gain a 4th level spell. With this one, I would have liked to use Ralathim Psychic Lance, but that's not in the SRD. Story of my life. So let's make a new one. Let's call it Onomancer's Foil. You name a creature with up to 3 words: nickname, true name, regular name, anything like that, and they have to make an intelligence save if they're within range. Doesn't matter if they're behind cover, anything like that. If they're invisible, it still affects them. At 17th level, you gain a 5th level spell. Let's use Contact Other Plane. This one is in the SRD, which is great. So Contact Other Plane, you bridge your mind across ethereal boundaries, and you ask a deity, otherworldly force, other things like that, a number of questions, and it can break your mind, which is fun. For our next subclass feature at 7th level, we are going to model this one after the Gloomstalker feature at 7th level. With this one, it's called Mental Fortress. So you gain a proficiency in intelligence saves. If you already have proficiency in intelligence saving throws, you instead gain proficiency in wisdom or charisma saving throws, your choice. At 11th level, you gain your next subclass feature. I really want the Intellect Wanderer to have access to the Sending spell, but for the additional spell list, I feel like Intellect Fortress / Psychic Ward is a better choice, more abjurative, it makes sense. So with this one, we're actually going to say that you can cast Sending an amount of times equal to your Wisdom modifier for free per day, just because your intellect can bridge any distances and convey messages. The capstone feature at 15th level, we are going to lean into the detect thoughts area, something that I feel like detect thoughts should grant, but it doesn't. So with this one, you can cast detect thoughts as a bonus action an amount of times per day equal to your wisdom modifier. While you're reading a creature's thoughts, you gain advantage on attack rolls against them, and they have disadvantage on attack rolls against you, which is something that I feel like detect thoughts should do, but as a second level spell, that'd be kind of broken. So with this one, we put together some different spellcasting abilities, we put together some sub-archetypes, we put together some new spells, we put together some abjurative defenses, things like that. This one, it has a lot of lore baked into it because it's all about the biosphere of the Silver Sea, which has a bunch of lore in it. It's a psionic but also marine biological place. Yeah, so that's pretty much it.